What's up? Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss, and you are in the right spot. This is where we discuss real life, real problems with real people. You're going to get unstuck. Now, while you're at it, make sure you subscribe and share this with a loved one. Let's get ready to get unstuck. What up, though? So, this is probably one of the most randomest, however you say it, episodes that I'm shooting because randomly it's 7:22 on a Friday. The wife is out and Aaliyah went to sleep. That's probably going to last for like 5 minutes, but I want to share some light on something that just happened, that opened up for me, but something that's been on me for a while. So we now have a private group called King's Talk, and the whole reason for this, well, let me back up for a little bit. We have the group called King's Talk, and it's literally just a private group for men who want to grow, who want to vent, who want to open up, and have a nurturing space, not a safe space, but a nurturing space, a space where men can actually, say things that they can't normally say and hear advice from other men and grow. So when I was going to launch it back a couple months ago, I was going to charge for it. I was going to make it a business model, and there's nothing wrong with a business model. Maybe down the line, but recently I was in prayer, and I had gotten up from prayer, and I felt that the Lord was like, open this up, do it now, don't charge. And for me, I look at time as, no, you don't have to charge for everything, but I am limited on time because of my family, especially my 4-year-old who eats up a lot of time and energy. So I was like, these men are not going to come if they don't invest, but that's between them and God. So with that, how did this all come about? A couple years ago, I remember telling my wife, I was in the basement, and I remember telling my wife that I didn't want to live anymore. And she asked me, why? And I was like, I just don't feel like it's worth it anymore. And the thing that kept me going was my daughter. I knew I didn't want her to be without me growing up and things like that. So that kept me going. But the thing that I also wish I had at that moment was another man to talk to about what was going on in my head. I didn't want to talk about just, I'm going through. I was like, no, there is some real stuff going on in my head. And when I voice it, people are not understanding. They're just more so trying to give me quick advice versus listening to what is really happening. Men's Mental Health Month was in June, and I cannot tell you how the hype around that died down probably around day 8. It died down around day 8. People stopped posting about it, and the suicide rate is higher for men than it is for women, and then it's higher for black men. I've seen people launch men groups. I've been in men groups. I've seen it happen so many times, and I see most of them die out around 3 months. And they die out because, yes, it is hard to get men to open up. It is difficult because men aren't taught to open up, and men aren't used to doing it. So, of course, it's going to be hard. So I stalled when I was going to launch it. I was like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have the burden, the headache, and things like that. So I left it alone. And a couple friends of mine would literally hit me up and be like, we're praying for you. We hope you have like the ability to still do it and things like that. And I was like, I want to do it, but I don't want to have it in a Facebook group because Facebook groups are like mad corny all of a sudden. Well, they've been corny. I don't want to make it where it's a Facebook group. I want to put it on a different platform where it's more sacred, some more fun things we can do, some online workouts and things like that. So I put it off, and I found a platform, and I was like, all right, I got one. But then I was like, I got to pay for this platform, and I don't even know if men are going to actually use it. So now all these things are going on in my head, all this wrestling and internal fight and things like that. Fast forward A way was made for me to open a platform, to do it, and to offer it at no charge. But the thing I want to push or speak to anybody who's listening on the podcast or listening on live is when men say like they're tired or they can't open up and talk, that's a real thing. When a man says that he's tired, that's not the time to give him tons of advice. Just sit with him, because that's usually a time where he could be contemplating like, I want to end it, or the depression is too heavy that I don't want to feel the pain anymore. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen to women. I'm not saying that. I've taught women for years. I've been raised by women, so I'm not saying that. I'm saying usually men don't get a chance to talk and open up the way they want to. Men are usually told, you don't open up. He doesn't open up. It takes a while. So we're opening this group in August. It's open now. It's totally free. If you want to be in it, just literally shoot me a DM. It's totally free. But we're opening it to be completely raw, to be transparent, to be vulnerable, and to be supportive. Because I believe if men are on a road of healing, it's going to be better for our world. But I also recognize that that's not going to be just a walk in the park. Seeing men heal is not a one-time thing. And it's also not something that's usually pretty. So I've had people before in my past years ago like tell me like, you need therapy. I go to therapy now. Or tell me what I needed, versus sit with me for a couple minutes and find out why I'm like this. Sit with me for a couple moments and find out what's going on in my head. Finding out why I'm depressed, why I'm distressed, why I might want to end my life. When I told my wife that I wanted to end my life, the feeling that I had inside of me was as if I was just like blank, and no one knew it. No one recognized that. Hey, he's at a place, because I was still serving, I was still coaching, I was still making sure everybody was okay, and I was fighting this feeling of like nobody listens to me, nobody understands me, no one's trying to understand me on a deeper level. They're just trying to solve a quick problem, which is the stem, but the root of it was there was things I needed to heal from. There was things I needed to talk about. I can guarantee you, if you have any men around you in your life, that you probably don't know them as well as you think you do, even if it's your husband. And I want to challenge women in a respectful way. The men in your life, sit with them, just listen to them, let them talk. They'll reveal things to you that you don't know. So many men that I know are depressed, are fighting suicide, are fighting giving up on relationships, are fighting to get a job, are fighting to be accepted, are fighting for so many reasons. And I'll be honest, if a man starts to feel that he's losing a lot, it's not a good thing. A man cannot go on in life feeling like he's losing. And for moms who have young sons, like teenagers and young sons, talk with them. Let them do the talking. Let them listen to them and find out, why is he like this? I always wished that I always wished that I had like a spot or something where I could allow young men to come and vent. Say what you want to say. Say it however you want to say it, because that's when it starts. They don't talk about their feelings because they're not taught how to do that. And when they do, they're either like shamed or they're usually like alienated. But if a person can't talk about their feelings, especially a man, then what do you expect to happen? They're literally going to shut down. They're going to do things that are crazy. I believe strongly that some of the men that can change our world are in jail. And I believe that just rage took over and anger just took over and made them do something and react out of just how they felt at that moment. But I want to encourage you, if you are a woman, you have any men in your life, take them out on a listen date. Hit them up like, hey, I just want to listen to you. And even if the talk is 1 minute, I've never heard in my life and I've never heard most men say this too, that someone was like, hey, I just want to listen to you. I just want to hear you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm not trying to tell you what you're not doing. I just want to hear you. And that's actually how you create a safe space for a man. Creating a safe space, for a man is not the same as creating a safe space for a woman. They're not the same. Women have something that I believe is great, where they can just call their girlfriend, talk, vent, laugh, all that stuff, and be better. Men don't have that. So men usually go into recreation or sports, sometimes drugs and other type of things. But I want to encourage you, ladies, if you can, take your man or your uncle or your son or your friend on a listen date. But for anybody, even women, if you know a man that needs this group is totally free. We're going to be talking about things that bother us. We're going to be doing things inside of the group. I'm going to be offering free online workouts so that men can actually have a place to go to talk, learn, vent, heal, get in shape. And it's called King's Talk. So if you can share it with any man, I'll put the link up in the not the show notes because I'm doing it live, but I'll put the link up. And just shout outs to my man Q Nothing But Web. If you guys see his name, definitely go follow him. Somebody worth the follow. Also my man Lionel in there. I can't see everybody's from how far this is at, but definitely go follow Q. He does podcasting too. Probably one of the best web developers that you guys have seen. Or if you don't see his stuff, go follow him, check in with him. But guys, that's really it. This was so random. I had a couple minutes. Aaliyah asleep. I can hear her starting to stir up now. So that means it's over. Be great, guys. Be great. I cannot say thank you enough for listening to this episode. Do me a favor, subscribe and share it with a friend.
Okay.
Help us help more people as we share a message of getting unstuck with real life problems with real people solving them. Be great.